Mountain Ghost 556. I'm going to do a whiny baby video today on something that's been irking me, and I just thought I'd get this out of my system. I was on Jaden Jager's YouTube channel, and he had his stupid internet gun stuff series going on, and he was talking about accessories and stuff that people put on their rifle. And I was going through the comment section, and I really like reading the comment section because I actually learn a lot just as much as I learn from the video sometimes. And this guy had mentioned, he was like, well, you need a good optic, you need a good sling, and you need a good light. I said, that's cool, you know, I don't see anything wrong with that. Well, then you get Mr. Know-It-All injects himself in there, and he said, and actually I've seen that comment several times in the comment section. So Mr. Know-It-All injects himself in the thread, and he goes, well, I've seen many of these comments, and you guys all failed to mention backup sites. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, really, dude? I mean, that's what you're going to come in here and inject yourself with. First of all, if you know anything about the AR, AK platform, when using optic, you're always going to have backup sights. Everybody knows that. It's a given. You know, that's like saying, hey, man, let's go, you know, you need ammunition to shoot your rifle. It's one of those things, okay? I may be wrong. Maybe some people think that you can just use an optic without backup sights. That could be just my misjudgment. So he gets in there, but instead of saying, hey, you know, I've seen in the comments section, you guys failed to mention backup sights as something in the three criteria, the light, the sling, and the optic. You know, I just thought I'd bring that up, maybe a given, but I thought I would bring that. He didn't say that. He didn't even offer, hey, you know, here's some backup sites you guys might want to consider, Magpul MBus or Troy Industries backup sites. He didn't even say that. He addressed the problem that he perceived and never gave a solution to it. That's how you know when people don't know. They either know what they're talking about or they're trying to make themselves look superior because they want people to ask so they can shine and be the savior. I see it a lot in the prepper and survivalist communities. The infighting in those two communities and the lap-over fighting is almost tribalistic. It's just ridiculous. You know, they're just always fighting about this is better than that, I know more than you, you're an idiot, and all this. And it devolves into name calling. It's really, really tribal. So he didn't do that. He addressed the problem but didn't offer a solution. It's like me saying, hey, honey, the sink is leaking, and then turning around, walking off and letting the kitchen flood and being mad that the kitchen flooded. It's stupid, you know, you can't do that. So the guy gets on there and does that, and he's on several comment sections. And that just kind of irked me because he's not presenting anything. And I have an example here. I know a lot of you have seen this, especially, you know, if you get on weapons forums or anything survival or prepping related, and I'm not trying to just bash on them. You know, even the bushcrafting. The bushcrafters have their own little thing go on. Don't talk about knives or axes or they'll just go off on you. But mainly the survival and the prepping community, I think that's just inherent to them because survival and prepping, you know, they always think they know, they want to believe that they know everything and that their stuff's going to work because they built themselves up to it, which is not necessarily true. So I got an example here, and if you've probably gone on to forums about firearms and stuff like that and seen somebody do this very thing. Get on there and somebody might say, hey, you know what? I like the way you ready? Painted your, here we go, clip. That's it. The sky cracks open, demons descend, and they rip this poor guy or gal apart for using the wrong terminology. I'm just like, really? Seriously? Okay, in modern combat firearms, we don't use clips anymore. Okay, we don't. This is a stripper clip. Okay? Now, being somebody that grew up with World War II, Korean, and Vietnam vets, those particular, especially World War II and Korean era, they were used to calling things, especially magazines, clips. So if you've been around those people or you've just heard that saying said so much, you're going to call this a clip. It doesn't matter if you call it a clip. It doesn't matter if you call it a magazine, okay? Because they're not going to hand you this. They don't use these other than sustainment, okay? They don't use these other than sustainment to reload mags, quickly reload mags. They don't. So what does it matter if I call it a clip or mag? You still understand what I'm talking about. It doesn't need to be precise. It doesn't need to be perfect. If I say, hand me a clip, they're going to hand me this mag, regardless of what I call it. It's ridiculous. You know, they want to nitpick all this stuff. Let's say I'm in the middle of, I'm taking fires and I run dry because, hey, you know what? poor fire discipline or I'm scared shitless, I look at my guy and right, hey man, roll me up, throw me a clip. The battle is not going to stop. The engagement's not going to stop so he can correct me. He's going to hand me this because whether I call it a clip or a mag, he's going to do it. But no, these experts have to make sure it's a mag because if you call this a clip, you don't know what you're talking about. That guy that stormed Omaha Beach, that received the Purple Heart, he might look at this and go, oh yeah. Those are some fancy clips you got there. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He needs to stop. He's an idiot. No, it doesn't work like that. There's times when you need to be specific. I need a flat head. I need a Phillips head. Okay? In my case, running a call, Robin. I'm not just going to say, Robin, I need some airways. No, I'm going to say, Robin, give me an NPA, nasal pharyngeal airway. OPA, oral pharyngeal airway. I have to be specific. This day and age, you can call this a clip, a mag, or a potato, a 30-round potato. If people get to, hey, hand me one of them 30-round potatoes. If he understands what you're saying, what harm is it? It doesn't need to be that specific. In this case, or maybe a Phillips head or a flathead, you might need to be specific. It's not that. These people want to get in there and they want to present or call the problem out and present no solution so they can feel dominant. Clip, mag, 30-round potato. It doesn't matter. It's jargon. They're acronyms. It doesn't matter. It's what these people want to talk about when they get into groups so other people won't understand or will feel less superior or inferior to the individuals because they sound like, oh, well, I just loaded a stripper clip into my 30-round mag. I don't care if you call it a clip or a mag. It doesn't matter. And neither should anybody else. As long as you understand what they're talking about. You know what I care about? Taking this, seating it into my weapon, charging it, learning weapons malfunction drills, reloads, and sighting in my weapon. That's all I care. You can call this thing a 30-round potato. Doesn't matter. And that's what it comes down to. The three types of people, and it comes down to people in general. The three types of people that I run into on those two groups, survival and prepping. There's three types. There's the ones that don't know much, that want to know, and that know a little bit, or don't know anything at all. Nothing wrong with them. There's always going to be those people that need learning. Then you got the second type, which is the salty people. They have skills, knowledge, and experience. Okay, those are the ones that I run into. That's my preferred group. Then you have window dressing that pretends to walk the walk, pretends to talk, has the flashy gear, has the says all the right jargons and acronyms, and then in reality they're just window dressing. They look good. I mean, they're flashy and they got all this cool stuff. But if you get into the meat of them, you can tell right away they don't know what they're talking about. They've never used their gear, or if they have used it, it's been very limited to just some training courses. Nothing wrong with training. I say get all the training you can. There's nothing that they have that's of substance. They're flashy. Those are the type that, number three, really do more harm than they do good because they present the problem and they never give solutions. You find it all the time. They belittle people and they talk down to people, and then they never tell them why they're wrong, and they never tell them how to fix it because they don't know themselves. They emulate everybody else and then put together this persona where they're bigger than life when really they're actually very small. And they don't really have what it takes to tell people how to fix problems through experience, training, and knowledge, like the second group of people, the salty people. And there's a lot of that on YouTube. And it's, you got your commando keyboard warriors, you've got your video warriors, and you can be whoever you want on YouTube. You can be whoever you want on forums, and you don't have to really back it up. You don't have to show any kind of evidence. All you have to do is just put something out that is flashy, read a bunch of books, and just regurgitate what you've learned. One of the things that I learned through life, especially when I was in the military, the manual is great, but the manual is just a skeleton. Your experience is what puts the meat on the bone of that skeleton. So when we go out there and we're just a bunch of skeletons walking around, that's what we are, just skeletons. By pointing out people's flaws and never correcting them, you never build that skeleton up. Because by correcting their flaws and giving them ways to put the meat on there, makes them better and gives validity to you. You tell me that something doesn't work, and you tell me how to fix it, and it works time and time again, that means you just put a little bit of meat on the skeleton. Okay? I could go on forever. I want to cut this short. 10 minutes is too long. So this is Mountain Ghost 556, out.